How's it going, Yankee fans? Welcome back to Fireside Yankees. If you haven't heard already, Nestor Cortes has been knocked out of the World Baseball Classic with a hamstring injury. Now, it doesn't seem to be anything too serious. A lot of reporters are now kind of chiming in, giving their takes and what they're hearing. It seems to be a grade 2 injury on the hamstring for Nestor Cortes, according to Brian Hoke of MLB Network. They expect he won't be able to pitch for about 2 weeks. So, with spring training about a week and a half away, that sets him back a little bit. I don't know exactly where he is in his pitching program, but it's totally possible he's ready for the regular season at the end of March, and this doesn't really impact anything at all. But we do want to discuss kind of the longevity concerns that are now starting to arise. Of course, Frankie Montas is already expected to miss the first month of the regular season, and losing, Nestor Cortes right now is certainly a concern. It's definitely giving me the heebie-jeebies, for lack of a better term, and I don't necessarily know how I feel about the starting rotation going forward and kind of the amount of players the Yankees are relying on to bounce back from injuries or recover from injuries. It is a bit worrisome. So, before we dive into kind of what this means and what our projections are for Nestor moving forward, Ryan, how you do today, my friend?
I'm doing great. At end of the day, the Nestor injury, right? Like, you're not sitting, I'm not sitting here going to say that, it's nothing that any Yankee fan should worry about, that it's totally fine, everything's okay. Because end of the day, we don't really know the entire situation, right? We don't know how it heals over the next week or two. Next week, we'll probably know a lot more about the injury than we do right now. We'll get a better idea as to how available he'll be for opening day. But the way I see it is, we're more than a month away from opening day. We're about 6 weeks away, I believe. If he misses 1 week of the regular season and you have to have Clark Schmidt start, the 5th game of the year, and then Nestor comes back in the second start, are we really going to be that much worse off for the long term? Like, if the Yankees season comes down to Clark Schmidt starting a game against the Philadelphia Phillies, in the 5th day of the year, then, I don't think this team was going to go very far anyways, if that was the case. End of the day, it's not what you like to hear. You never want to see anyone get hurt. It's obviously not good, but it's not catastrophic either. I don't view it as something where, it's an elbow injury or shoulder injury. That would be concerning, because not only would I be like, okay, when are they going to get back? But when they get back, I'm not sure how long they'll last into the season, right? We see this with Montas. With that shoulder injury, it becomes one thing, it becomes another thing, then it becomes a setback in the winter that we don't know when he's coming back, right? Even with Severino, the lat strain, right? It seemed like he was cruising, and then out of nowhere in a start against Cincinnati, he was lit up, and then he missed basically the entire summer, right? So, or even that elbow fracture from King, we're lucky that wasn't Tommy John, that it was just an elbow fracture, and he was out for the whole year, and that proved to be consequential, right? So, end of the day, you're avoiding those shoulder elbow injuries, which are terrifying. This is more so that, hamstring. He's had a couple of hamstring things before. We saw it last year, I believe it was in Oakland where he had a hamstring issue, missed about a week, missed about 2 starts. I think, and then in the postseason, the ALCS, he had another hamstring issue. So the only concern is that's reoccurring, but in terms of long-term outlook, I'm not super concerned.
Yeah, me neither. I don't think it's going to be anything too significant ultimately. As you said, this is something he has had in the past and tweaked in the past, but at the same time, just a couple weeks before the season starts, just that week and a half before spring training, it definitely is kind of annoying, to say the very least. The Yankees just seem to consistently have these issues pop up. Now, now Nestor Cortes did speak to the media, and essentially he was like, I felt a little something. I thought it was a cramp, then I went to tie my shoe, and I was like, oh crap, this actually does feel like a little bit of a pull. They got some soft tissue imaging, and it showed some bruising. So, 2 weeks it seems like, but ultimately I think that he will be fine. Even as you mentioned in one of your tweets a couple minutes ago, if he is forced to miss a start, it's not that big of a deal. I ultimately think that, if Domingo Germán or Clark Schmidt has to fill in for 1 start just so he's ready to go and 100% and there's no concerns, it's not a problem. Like, it's not going to be the end of the season. Luckily, this isn't anything serious. It seems to be very minor, so at least we can kind of sit here and say to ourselves, Nestor Cortes is going to be fine. He's not going to miss significant time. This is just a tiny little tweak that he probably got from a little bit of overusage going through his program, going through his process to get ready for the regular season. So at this point in time, nothing to be too concerned about, but still a little bit annoying, a little bit like, okay, like we're already dealing with some stuff. We're already hoping a lot of these guys bounce back. We still don't know if Frankie Montas is going to put together a full season. Well, we already know he won't, but after that, who knows what he does. Shoulder inflammation is a little bit concerning. I just recently had a hamstring pull myself. Knocked me out for about 2 weeks, but after that, it was totally fine, and I was able to run and, do everything normally. So I don't think it's going to be much of a concern for Nestor moving forward. They'll manage it appropriately. If he needs to take any time, feels a little bit of a tweak down the road, they'll shut it down and they'll make sure he's good. So while it seems to be nothing overly serious, we'll keep an eye on it for you guys. If anything comes out, any news, any updates, we got you covered as always. Make sure to keep in tune with Fireside Yankees. Like and subscribe as always, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode.